Good evening, first of all, to all of you.
Good evening. Good evening.
From the viewpoint of the registered nurses and midwives, you also benefit from this. But when you look at our pensions, and I'm sure that is why you're here, how concerned are you with where we stand currently?
So pensions is a very important aspect of our working lives, and every worker, whether you are in the public sector or in the private sector or formal, informal, you should be very interested about your pensions whilst you are working today, because by the time you are retiring, the energy is down, you may not be able to work more, you have a number of non-communicable diseases that are afflicting you. So it's important that we get the issues of our pensions right. And it's important that, and it's good you're having this, we are all having this conversation. For us as nurses and midwives, of course, the issues of pensions is very important to us. And therefore, when we listen or we find ourselves in the situation where we find ourselves when it comes to SNIT and the way it's being governed, the way it's operating, and all of that, it's a source of concern and a source of worry for everyone. We see the investments that SNIT is doing, and at the end of the day, we know it's not really benefiting workers in general. You gave the history of pensions in Ghana, and of course, the major issue that influenced the pensions was the development of the government white paper on pension reforms. And it talked about a number of things, such as instituting the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, which has been done, ensuring that there's unification of pensions, and ensuring we phase out Cap 30, because, of course, it's not sustainable. Looking at reviewing the SNIT law, looking at reviewing the structure of SNIT, ensuring that those that are working in the informal sector are also covered by some sort of pension, so that when they go on retirement, their financial security is secured and all of that. And the reforms has come. We have the Tier 1, the Tier 2, the Tier 3. And SNIT is basically in charge of Tier 1. Tier 2, from my estimation, some of the private schemes are really, really doing well. And if you look at the latest figure in terms of the total quantum of assets within the private sector pension space, it's hovering around 38 billion, as against SNIT somewhere around 18 billion thereabout. But the Tier 2
It tells
schemes,
you something, doesn't it?
Of course. The Tier 2 schemes have been in operation for barely about 14 years thereabout. And SNIT has been there forever.
1972.
Forever. So that tells you that there's something fundamentally wrong. And we know these things. And that is why this conversation is important for us to voice out the issues. People should be level-headed about these conversations and understand that there's need for change so that we get things right for the benefit of all of us.